Yo, so Jesse. Um, Today is morals number 19, and this is going to be something that a lot of folks with kind hearts disagree with. But this is a biblical moral. This is something that God allows for, and at times, when He says it's time, we're supposed to and we're required to do. Okay, number 19 is it's okay to make war to defend the righteous, but not fight against people that are changing to be righteous. And this comes with a lot of caveats. It comes with a lot of a lot of exceptions to it because there's a lot of bad reasons to go to war and few good reasons to go to war. But this comes from Genesis 14, where when Lot was stolen out of the land that he'd settled in near Sodom, Abraham and his servants went and fought against Chedorlaomer and smote him with the sword, and then came back with all the stuff. Okay, and the opposite is in Genesis 34, where Levi and Simeon smote Shechem and looted it because Dinah was raped, but the whole city was going to get circumcised. So you have two different sides to this moral. It's like people that are trying to do good even though a bad thing happened, don't fight them. But at the same time, like even if the wicked are attacked and you go save everybody, if your intent is to save the righteous, it's okay. So this is like, it's like a very, like, it takes some discernment to know what to do and when to do it. It's not an easy moral, right? But the biggest thing is like if somebody has attacked you and yours and attacked the righteous and drawn blood and stolen them from you, it's okay to go on the attack. And this comes before the law. It's before the law. So no amount of Christ fulfillment of the law fulfills this. It's a thing of morals that we're allowed to do, provided that we're doing uprightly, doing things justified in the sight of Yahweh He. Okay, so I want you to think about that. Is like, okay, nobody likes killing, nobody really likes war or whatnot. It's not a fun thing. Sometimes people are bad enough that it has to be done, and sometimes the righteous need to be rescued from God's punishment on the wicked. Okay, and so part of the issue was that Sodom was so sinful that God let Chedorlaomer attack it and raze it to the ground. And then Abraham was like, well, Lot and his wife and that bunch, we got to go rescue them. And in doing so, they rescued everybody, a lot of the other people too, and their stuff. And then later, God sends angels and fire and brimstone and destroys Sodom, and only takes Lot and his family out. So just consider that it's okay to rescue the righteous, to fight to rescue the righteous, to fight against wicked men when they attack you. But it's not okay to destroy somebody, even if one of their members have done something really bad. It's not okay to destroy somebody that's trying to be righteous or is willing to become righteous, right? Like the Hamor and Shechem, okay? And that's Genesis 34. So it's a thing that's like, all right, well, that's not the easiest thing in the world to discern when and where and what times. God obviously doesn't condemn Abraham for having done what he's done, and there's a very obvious condemnation on Simeon and Levi for doing what they did. And in fact, it's a generational condemnation because the tribes weren't even allowed to settle next to each other because of hereditary genetic anger and the predisposition to get cruel when bad things happen. Okay? And that's saying a lot, because that's even among the Jews, you know. So consider that, and think about it. And it's not an easy thing, and there's more to it. And as I go through the Bible, and I find another example, it'll be an additional video that further clarifies this stuff. But the whole point is like, if you didn't have the law and you didn't have the prophets and you didn't have, you know, Christianity, what are the biblical morals? And that's kind of like these biblical morals, when you look at them, they're for all time. They're not just for Judaism or Christianity. Okay, they're for all time. They haven't been done away with. That's the way God, Yahweh, He likes things. And even when you get to the time of Christianity, you know, we're not supposed to murder. And but at the same time, the apostles went to preach with swords, right? So how do you explain that? So there's things that have to be understood in a sequential, hierarchical order in order to understand what we can do as human beings, when to do it. And it's not simple. It's not as simple as we would like. And there are times where, Yahweh, He says, these need to be destroyed. It's just like, he who sheds blood, by man shall his blood be shed. That's basically what war is based on. If somebody comes to shed blood, well, then you're free to defend yourself, you know. And then there's other times where, you know, that country has been evil or wicked in God's sight, and He just flat out tells you, go on over there and do something about it. So please understand that I'm not just like basing this off just, Jesse's an old warmonger. No, this is a very, very old moral that wasn't done away with under the law, and that Jesus didn't do away with either. And that's very obvious when you actually start to understand the Armageddon events and how much fighting the Christians do when Jesus returns. Okay? So it's just that, you know, at the time during the Gospels, it wasn't the right time to do that. And He told them that. He told the apostles that, apostolun. So think about that stuff and consider it, because like women and children don't need to understand this, and even like men whose hearts aren't in it don't need to understand this, but men are the ones that are responsible for societal order and protection. Okay? There's very few women that are willing to go to war, and well, I have opinions about that, but I'm not saying stay home and make babies. I'm just saying that women aren't physically and mentally equipped to handle the physical rigors of the front lines, and that's very noticeable in what our government is currently doing with the military, going back to the old ways. And with that comes, like, if you're going to go to war, understand that you're going to come out damaged as a damaged person. Human beings are meant for caring for land, caring for each other as social creatures, growing, building, and inventing things. We were not ever created to destroy each other. When we do that, we take mental damage, even if we're good people fighting on the right side. Okay? And so war in and of itself, for that reason, has to be carefully examined before we go fight, because of the psychological damage on all sides that it causes. So just be aware that, while it is immoral, it is amoral, that even the process of fulfilling this moral when necessary can hurt you as a human being. It's a necessary thing to do sometimes, but it's not something that we want to have to do. And that's not coming from a place of weakness. That's coming from a place that's like, all right, well, I've seen what happens to folks. And I've experienced some stuff myself that's like, human beings aren't meant to be fighters. There's a rare person that can go through something and come out the other side and be totally okay with just hurting folks. But that's because part of their mind is built different or messed up. And that's not normal. It's not normal for a human being to a normal thinking, caring, loving family man. It's not normal for that kind of person to just be okay with that. It's something that's inbuilt into our psychology and inbuilt into our physiology, and that's the way it is. So just be careful. Even though this is immoral, be careful be careful to do things the right way to begin with, and be careful that you don't get damaged as you perform this. Okay, y'all have a good one. That's morals number 19. It's okay to go to war to protect the righteous, but it's not okay to go to war against somebody that's trying to be righteous, even though they did something bad. All right, have a good one. Think about it.